Capacity, very important question in supply chain, because capacity is what lets you buy, make, and sell, right? Scalable capacity, depending on the nature of your machinery products you want to have, depending on your how many plants you have or what's your technology. If you want to have one machine which does everything, you will be spending time on setting up the machine each time you have a new product. Or you want to have a dedicated line which for every product, then you're very efficient, but you also have more capacity. So capacity utilization is a very, very challenging question. A lot of time in supply chain is spent on scheduling around capacity, because many companies they start with a good capacity profile, but over time, as business grow, capacity becomes constrained, and that's where the challenge of scheduling and realigning, making the best use of it, and then we use this SMED approach, single minute exchange of dies, where you cut down on setup costs and good maintenance and all that. By the time comes when you really need more capacity, need more machines. At that time, you look around and see what machines you want to buy, more single feature or more flexible. Again, there's a trade-off between setup times and continuous production. So that's a big question comes up every now and then. That's why the business of contract manufacturing, CMO, is flourishing, because you don't have a brand, you set up machines and equipment to do something. Like, for example, footwear industry, you may not want to own a brand, but you are very good at making shoes at a very good quality and low price. So the brand owners, they don't need to have their own plants. They own the brand, they do the marketing, the brand development and specifications, quality, research, etc., and they get the shoes made by you. And you're very good at making shoes, don't need the brand. You just put the label on. So you have in the same plant, you are making shoes for 5 different brands as per their specifications. So that's the solution for production capacity that's available. You want to keep your own capacity for some top brands for yourself, and then outsource the second tier, third tier quality. So depends on how you structure it. Capacity is workforce, infrastructure, how do you locations and all that, and supplier and outsource capacity. Supplier can be part of your capacity, right? You buy raw materials, you can have some operations done at supplier's place before they come to you. You can have quality arrangements such that you don't have to re-inspect them when you receive them. So, and you can have the multi-echelon inventory, where you are using inventory and not paying for it until it comes to the sale part or comes to manufacturing parts. All those vendor-owned inventory. It also can include capacity utilization. Warehousing is a capacity part. So if you are doing VOI, vendor-owned inventory, you are actually, as a seller, as a vendor, you're using the customer's warehouse without paying rent for it. And the trade-off is that you are not being paid until they use it. So it's like you're reducing the overall supply chain costs and sharing the benefits between the vendor and manufacturer. So demand fulfillment, you're close to the market. You can do multi-echelon inventory, utilizing that concept of push and pull strategy. You finish the product to a certain level, then ship to the near to the market and do the final finishing steps close to the market. That's a lot being done in terms of reshoring or backshoring. I was talking to my colleague in Germany. Danish is our colleague, and he contributes to your newsletters, articles. He was telling us that they have their product is so complicated, complex, that it crosses many shores many times before assembled finally. And that adds to cost of transportation, inspection, licenses, and custom duties and all that. So they're trying to bring back things not into the country necessarily, but are closer within Europe, the region. And a lot of that similar things are happening overall around the globe, because You want to have better control. The closer it is to you, the better communication, less damages, less lead time. So that's the capacity issue that always, keep evolving globally. That I mean, every company wants to have low cost, but also you have to see the efficiency and the fulfillment close to market. All those factors produce contribute to it. So capacity is an ongoing, evolving thing. Yes, each year you have to take a fresh look and see how best we can improve it, better we can make it. Aligned with business growth, starting again with demand fulfillment, customer service, business growth, and then flexibility during fluctuations. You are dealing with product that is seasonal, or if not seasonal, it has fluctuations, demand fluctuations. How do you manage that? What capacity profile do you have to handle that situation? Decision making. So it comes to a point when you have a constraint. Your first focus will be customer service. That drives cash flow. Then you can look at cost and capacity. Normally, capacity is the constraint, and that also requires cash flow to be able to get new capacity, hire new people, and get more equipment. Even if you want to go to third party, you have to set up contracts, have technical quality agreements, which also cost money. Again, you need cash flow. So that principle allows you to protect your revenue, sustain cash, optimize cost, and adjust capacity by utilizing, leveraging different means that you have, and it supports effective resource allocation, especially during disruptions. So companies who do these things when times are good, there's no crisis, there's no issue, those are the companies that are well positioned to sustain the weather and stride over when there is a tough situation, because they already have system in place to quickly review and adjust the plans, adjust the responses, because you have the tools, you have the mechanism, you have the communication, you have the system going already. You don't create the systems in crisis. You use the systems in crisis. So it's good practice to be agile, to be up to the mark when there is no situation.